you have to understand that change doesn't relate to the individual. Okay? Change relates to the things around the individual. How that person reacts to that, that's a transformation that person has to go through. And there's different phases of that transformation that the person has to go through in order for that change to be successful. Okay? Give me a case in point. How many of you have ever witnessed a process that's successful that hasn't been adopted by people? Okay? Or a web tool that's not being used correctly? Or ERP system is not being used properly. I remember one case for a client where the system was telling the end user that there was no inventory, and the poor person was befuddled because right there on the shelf was the inventory that was being requested. So there's some dynamics that go along with that. We'll talk more about that later. So intelligent behavior. And in intelligent behavior, I talk about the 6 I's of intelligence. And the 6 I's being, 1, being innovative, number 2, being insightful, taking the initiative, being able to influence people, having good interpersonal skills, and then integrity. And integrity is more than being honest. It's more than being honest, and I'll talk more about that later, okay? Learner, again, key to being a flexible leader, being flexible, having that flexible quality is not being afraid to learn. Not being afraid to learn. Okay, remember what I said, one of the second point of your trilogy success is that you're going to have to constantly reinvent yourself. Okay, but you got to be able to learn. So learn is, okay, you got to taking, but also you got to be able to give back. You can't, and giving back is teaching. Teaching. And if you haven't learned anything, you're certainly not going to be able to teach anything. Okay? And then effective behavior. And when I think about effective behavior, what I'm thinking about is basically lead by example. Lead by example. And we'll talk more about that because again, there's a difference between being effective and being successful.